Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Everything popping. You know how we do the things? We know how we do the things. Strong already, swell as usual.
Nah, I like the energy. Energy always has to be correct when you're walking into the thing, you know? So, yes. Nah. Obvious. Siyabonga enthusiasm, boy.
Of course, we must come in with fire.
And you know what's funny? You know, coming in with this level of enthusiasm when, you know, for anyone listening to this, once it's been, you know, edited and produced and all of that, there's the music and you're like, right, so you know the vibe is there for you. You're like, okay, let me see what these guys have for me to this week. Tina, we just jump in and chill. Quiet. No hype. You just walk into the art.
Walk into the thing.
Just in jail. So I know. Siyabonga energy. It's proper. So now really this week's intro tune has to have that ginger, you know. But
fire.
I think we'll make a plan. We'll definitely make a plan. Check it Adam in there.
Sindo, please go with something else.
No, bro. There's a new track by Jalam Shungris.
Shit.
I mean, it's not new. I mean, it's about a month, maybe a month and a half old. Okay. Called, I think, Upetene Sanjin. I think that's the name of the song.
Wait, side note, very small side note. One of the things that I actually wanted to talk about, I didn't put it on the list, but remember we muted, it was on my previous list for the previous weeks, that Yano's Sosh.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So just add it in. I forgot to tell you before we started recording. Sorry, guys. Now you have a glimpse of our preparation, which really isn't anything amazing.
So let's do, we'll chuck it in the rundown. So we'll have our two mains and then we'll chuck it into the rundown.
Wait.
Okay, so yeah, otherwise, guys, welcome back. It is another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite episode. Trying your favorite what? Your favorite hour.
Tabo, can you please respect the people? I'm sure they've gotten accustomed to you saying it. They now say it with you. So now when you, even in my head, when you're now saying it in a
when
different
it's off,
way, my brain
it just doesn't sound
like,
proper.
My brain was glitching for a second. I was like, how? What Hanan?
Okay. All right. Take two. All right, we're ready. Welcome back, guys. It is another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo.
And my name is Senna.
And we are back for another week to do the damn thing. Hope everybody's feeling good and excited on this Friday that you're listening to the podcast, obviously. And obviously, add us, let us know. We want lots of opinions for this week because there's a lot different things to get into, and I'm excited. But in terms of housekeeping, very, very straightforward. You know, the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you guys know what that's about. Just go on YouTube, type in 6 Foot Weights, subscribe to the thing. Very, very straightforward. And then in terms of one bit of admin, I forgot to announce when it happened, but it is what it is. We crossed that threshold. I don't know if I did announce it. If I did, it bears announcing a second time.
You didn't.
We've officially crossed the 30,000 stream threshold. Very, very exciting times. The podcast keeps growing, and it's all thanks to you, the listeners, who keep, coming back, who keep, adding other people, sharing it with a friend, liking the thing, retweeting the thing. This is what it all is in the service of. So we appreciate it. I haven't really gone through the stats properly. But in terms of basic check in on the podcast, in terms of what the podcast is doing, like how South Africa is still the mainstay. Look at Siwe Ekoli. 25% of the audience is in SA, and then 18% is in the UK. The UK, when we started, Senna, for a large majority of it, the UK was with Canada at like 3-4% of our audience.
Yeah, and then it just grew quickly.
Yeah, no, that's been our biggest grower. Shout out to, Honorable Pong Pong and the gang.
And the girls from Girl in Skies.
Of course.
The shout outs and the plug. Like Nat is always plugging the podcast.
Nat is a hero, bro.
Yeah, she should be an unofficial member of the podcast, her and Xoli.
I don't know if she would agree to be a cheese girl. Xoli did say she's a cheese girl, but I don't know about Nat.
We'll negotiate with Nat.
Yeah, no, Meles Kulumela City. No, Sissy, we hung up. And then, yeah, so after that, we're looking at Zim, 17%, and then the States, another big jump to 14%. So that's primarily where the podcast is based. And then obviously you have your Australias, Canadas, Germanys, UAEs, people in the Netherlands, people in Georgia, Uganda, Rwanda, Botswana, Poland, Singapore, Kenya, Belgium, Namibia, Nigeria, India. Eswatini, shout out to I want to be Eswatini. Israel, I'm trying to pick countries that I wouldn't say on a date. Luxembourg, Jersey. I didn't know Jersey was a country. I don't know where the fuck that is. Haiti, Taiwan, Angola, Malaysia, Saudi, bro, Qatar, Puerto Rico. Shout out to all my Latinos. Hong Kong, and then the Isle of Man. Ever heard of that?
Yeah, it's an island. Somewhere, where Jersey and all those places are, I think.
I just told you I don't know where Jersey is.
Yeah, okay. I think it's like somewhere Caribbean vibes.
Let me Google that before Mr. Senna.
No, I'm guessing, to be honest. I'm also just guessing.
Isle of Man. It is a self-governing British Crown dependency, Irish Sea, between England and Ireland, bruh. What?
Hey, I was guessing.
So, Velung is the island, Sukaba ngi Jamaica kuphela.
Mina phela.
Like honestly, what a wow. I'm disappointed but not surprised. And then, yeah, I think everything else is pretty standard. Listenership is still 60% female. We're not toxic enough, apparently. The biggest demographic is 23 to 27-year-olds. But we've got our 60-pluses in there, our 40-year-olds in there, our 35s to 44, our 18, our skirskers are there. Everyone. It's a very healthy spread. I love looking at this thing. But, siyabonga kakhulu. The podcast is doing the things. So yeah, shout out to everybody listening to this podcast right now. This is a big thank you to you. Make sure you do your fantasy teams when you're listening to this podcast. Just make sure you you captain the right horse. If you need to wild card, Cristiano Ronaldo's back in the league. If you're trying to get him into your team, I think he's 12.5 milli, which is kind of steep. I first want to see, what his form is going to be like. He's a great player, but I just think he's surrounded by some mediocre talent in certain places. So let me see. Let me see first if there's any proof in the pudding, and then I'll sell Bruno or something like that. But yeah, fantasy league is back. 6 foot weights league is great. It's competitive. It's tough. It's tough in there. But I think that's all the admin from my end, Mr. Moy.
From my side, special thanks to everybody who read last week's IP Thursday. Of course, we give thanks as always. Last week we did the one on Guess versus Gucci. Yeah, so it's Gucci versus Guess. Guess has been trying to copy a whole bunch of designs and IP which belongs to Gucci. So the whole time, I think it's been happening for 12 years? Or was it almost a decade. Almost a decade where they were going back and forth, and Gucci was saying Guess is stealing our branding. For anyone who is obsessed with Gucci, you kind of know like the designs and the patterns and everything already. A lot of people buy fake counterfeits, and Gucci has been a victim, like a proper big victim of all of that. And yeah, they're involved in many lawsuits, Mr. Maps, where they're trying to stop people from, counterfeit and copying their designs and stuff. It's not just Gucci, it's all like the big big brands that, well, not the highly classy ones. So Gucci,
Versace.
LV, and
Yeah.
Versace. Those guys, yeah, they are constantly in court fighting someone. So I might do one on Gucci again this coming week, but they're suing another company. So
Okay.
yeah, thanks to everyone who read and shared. And
I
all
have a
that
question.
stuff.
So there's this bag. I'm sure I think even store has it. There's this popular bag that a lot of ladies have, with the design of like. So Michael Kors has it. Calvin Klein has it, and I believe, is it Louis, and maybe even Gucci. But like it's like
Okay.
the handbag, Lena A. Brown, with the labeling all over it. But like it's literally
Okay.
it's the same exact thing, except it'll either say CK, MK, LV, or I don't know if Gucci has it, but like definitely those three have it. So like, isn't that, I don't know. I always wonder, because it's literally the same thing, exactly the same bag, same design, except the letters.
So it depends. If the design is a stock kind of design, which is pretty commonplace. So if it's like a commonplace, like the
Yeah.
design of a laptop, right? The whole flip open kind of standard design for every PC. That patent for a laptop probably lapsed many years ago, and then after the patent lapsed, it was probably deemed to be commonplace in the industry, right? So anyone could use that design and then just add their own IP on it.
Okay.
So the actual basic sort of design may now just be common and not distinctive anymore.
I see. Okay,
But
that makes sense.
That whatever else you add on it is what's protectable. So you can have the same bag, but once I'm copying your branding, the one that you put on it, then I'm like, nah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'll send you the pictures,
Yeah.
but okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. But Sharp, on your side.
Everything nice. Everything
Fantastic.
good.
I was gonna do a quick update on item on Bitcoin, because I know I talked about it a couple weeks ago. There we go. Bitcoin price. Man, it's showing. Why is it showing me in dirhams? I want to see it in dollars. Joe Biden's. Right. Okay. So I think when we spoke about it, remember we talked about when Bitcoin, like when crypto in general tumbled, right? When people were making a lot of money and then the shit
Yeah.
tanked for a while. So I just wanted to use this as like a quick teaching moment. I think when we did the episode, Bitcoin tanked to, I'm trying to see here, about 30K, somewhere there, low 30s. I don't think it slipped into the 20s, but yeah, it touched about 30,000, and everyone was panicked. Hey, really, the crypto bubble has burst, blah, 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 blah. And a bunch of people sold, right? And we're like, oh, hey, Maliam.
Yeah.
So at the time of recording, Bitcoin was anywhere between $30,000 to $33,000 per coin. It has now rallied. Last week it was as high as 50,000.
So is that whole
Yeah.
buy the dip?
Yeah, exactly.
don't
So
do anything that you guys
exactly.
always
So
preach
some people did buy the dip, right? Which they've just made a cool. If they bought coins for 30,000 a coin, you've made a cool $20,000. Or at least last week you'd have made a cool $20,000 on your investment, just like that, in a matter of about 3-4 months. Can you imagine? Like madness. But anyway, so there's that, and then for the people who sold, obviously, you just lost a ton of money. And then for me, I think I bought the last chunk of Bitcoin I bought. It was just like above 55. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm not in a rush. No, don't panic, because it doesn't make sense to sell. But right now it's sitting at about 47,000. Right, but I just wanted to outline that quickly for people who would, this thing, it really ebbs and flows with crypto, especially. Don't panic. It's just, even if it hits 10K, it doesn't make sense for you to sell at that point, unless again, there's I don't know what news could be out there that would let you know what Bitcoin will never ever recover again. But as it's going at this rate, it's just going to ebb and flow. And I think it'll possibly keep growing at this point and get as high as, I think the highest it got this year in Feb was like 50K. if I'm not 60K. If I'm not mistaken. So I think it'll touch that again and probably even surpass that. But yeah, those who are interested in crypto, there's your little bit of patience is a virtue in a lesson. So, yes.
So my question is, how do you know when to sell? Because I get the whole buy, and then it kind of seems like you're buying and then you're just monitoring what's happening. Like, oh, I'm up, oh, I'm down, oh, I'm up, oh, I'm down. When is the right moment to sell? Like, how do you optimize that?
So that
at this time, at this specific moment, I will make the most out of my investment.
There's two types of investors, generally speaking. You have your investor which is what I always recommend in terms for a lot of us who are, young professionals, buy and hold. Don't think you're Warren Buffett and start trading every other day. Unless if you've done the work, you've put in time to learn how to actually trade and strategies of which there's no actual strategies that work. You're just hoping that, whether you're using fundamental analysis or technical analysis, you're hoping something works out for you. But it's like fantasy football. You could be Thierry Henry and still suck at fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, know everything about the game and ABCD. But at the end of the day, asugwas, right? So what I normally recommend for the centers of the world, I just say buy and hold. Buy and just forget about it, bro. For years.
But why must at some point?
No, you don't.
I can't.
You hold for you hold forever.
No, but no. So what's the, and that's what I'm saying. What's the tangible benefit of then buying and then holding?
Because you're planning. This is.
If I'm never gonna,
you're planning for
even if it's
for 10 retirement. This is money that you're going to see when you're 50, right? This is, at least for me, that's why I invest, because I want to make sure that when I'm 45 and I'm just like, you know what, maybe I'm still working for someone, right, or for a company, and I'm like, hey, I'm done with this. I want to be my own person at 45, or I just don't want to work. Period. My investment portfolio will be at a point where I can live off of that and, start some different businesses and figure out, or buy some property and, make money off of that and make it my passive income, right? So for me, the way I look at it is that I'm doing this with the end of my career in mind, not for now. For now, my salary is what is paying me and allowing me to live whatever life I want to live. But in terms of my investments, it's over time. Remember what I had said initially, even about, particularly about the stock market. For crypto, we just don't have enough data because crypto really just started popping in the last 10, 15 years, right? So we don't have enough data to say, right, this is what it's been historically. But historically, if you're investing in stocks and mutual funds, right, if you're in the market for at least 30 years, boy, you will never not make money, or right, you'll never lose money if you're in there for at least 30 years. So now imagine for the next 30 years, you're putting away, $100 a month into your mutual fund. Just $100 a month, right? You're putting that away, and you let that build over a span of 30 years. So now you're looking at cake, right? You will never be able to save at the rate that you'd be able to make money if you're talking about the same amounts of money, right? So if you're saving $100 versus investing that $100 for the next 30 years, you can just do the maths to say, however many months in 30 years, do that maths. That's the money that you're going to have, right? Whereas with investing, it's different. I'm a premature ejaculator. So it's...
I can confirm that we rebuke all of that on this podcast.
But if you want to be that guy who makes money, so like Hadani, for example, I just made money a beer, right? In today, so he'll say shit like that. So, but that you, I'm not dragging you. No. It's fine. It's not bad. I mean, the way I invest and the reason I invest is it's not.
No, but
it's not bad. That's the thing. I'm not coming for Huxley anyway. Like, you could literally be that guy if you were trying to finance some sneakers and you made it through a couple of trades over the week. Then okay, cool. It's fine.
And that's what if I want to finance a trip? Yeah. Right. Now your friend's getting married and he wants you to buy your own suit. Now I must raise money for a suit.
Exactly. You could trade depending on the volume of money that you're trading. You could make the suit money in a day. You could make it in a month. You could make it in a year. It depends on the volume of money that you're trading. So if you're talking about if we're talking securities, like stocks and stuff like that, it's easier to predict in terms of, generally speaking, what are your returns going to be. But again, if you're just investing in like small cap companies where they're much more volatile, then yeah, you'll make money quicker, but then you also lose money quicker. If you're in crypto, you could literally make lowola money, in 3 months. You could make lowola money in 3 months, 2 months even. Depending on how much you invest. I have a friend who invested in crypto over the last couple of months. He invested something along the lines of 10. Let me not do currency conversion. I'll just do the numbers, the actual numbers. He invested 10K, right? Doesn't matter the currency, but he invested 10K, and in about 3.5 months, he flipped that 10K into 300K in crypto, right? So you can do that in crypto. Like, those things are possible. But what I always strongly and passionately recommend is, like, if you're a young professional, you can have some play money that you can toss into crypto, and yeah, if you flip it into a bag, great. But in terms of your future, don't mortgage your future in crypto unless you know what you're doing. If you don't, then
I'd recommend people have several sort of investments.
Yes, it's called diversification of your portfolio. Absolutely. So have some crypto, have some stocks, have some property, have whatever it is. You want to have your money in different things, because that's the best way to mitigate your risk, right? Because when you invest, you're always taking on some form of risk. But in your case, when often who wants to make your money, who wants instant gratification, wants to make your money now, then it means that you would need to be a trader, meaning that you'd need to pay attention, buy some Bitcoin, if it goes up 10%, utengis, you know what I mean? And jump out,
okay.
So it means that you really need to be refreshing the screen, and like making sure what right? Whereas what I always recommend is for young professionals, like, we all have jobs, we're doing other things, we have life, right? Invest passively. Just toss the money in there, forget about it, check in a couple of years with wow, this money's at this. In terms of your normal, stocks and mutual funds. But if you're looking at crypto, then yeah, you could, invest 1,000 rand. That 1,000 rand is now 80,000 rand. Obviously, I'm gonna say, hey, bruh, take 70,000 out. So like, but that's a completely different, circumstance, la pana. You know what I mean? Like, it's that one is obviously, if you woke up that rich. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I know today I've got 80,000 rand. Guess what? I'm taking out 70, and then I'll leave 10K in there, and then that 70, I'll do something constructive with it, which is, is much less risky than crypto. Or there's some people who gamble it all. I'm like, I'll keep the 70 in there, and then maybe I'll keep the 80 in there, and maybe the 80 turns into 500,000, But me, I don't have the stomach for that. If I started with 1,000 rand and saying, no, Jack, I'm okay. Thanks. I'm not greedy. Thanks for coming. I will take my profits and be on with it. But anyway, those are the two general kind of things. If you're looking at a now, make some money, become a trader.
Your pull-out game has to be strong.
You need to learn actually how to trade, and when to pull out, when not to pull out. But if you're just like, hey, I don't want to learn all of this, it's a lot, then invest passively.
I think if you want quick returns, and you must pull out all the time. After a little bit, jump out.
I said I'd love to see if you're taking a different life decision and become a financial advisor. I think there's LL bar 4. I think there should be CF bar 4 as well. CFA bar 4, right? Because
I'd be within
this advice that you're giving people. But anyway, I didn't expect this to be a proper long, financial segment, but I've been meaning to touch on something, constructive in the finance world for you guys. So that's your little.
But it's good. Like, everyone I've spoken to always finds it helpful, and they're like, yo, I made an investment decision based on Tabo's advice. So Even if it took us a few more minutes than we initially thought, still good. Someone out there might be able to use this information to do.
And yeah, I'm not your investment advisor. Please, don't come here so cry. No, yeah, I mortgaged my savings because Tabo didn't say shit, bro. This is just me talking. I didn't tell you to buy nothing. I just told you to go learn, do the research, and actually figure out what you want to invest in and do it from there. Don't come and cry for me.
Those guys who, after they've given you all the advice and you lose all your money, so
bruh. It's very simple. One of those chats. But hey, listen, bruh, this is just me talking. It's like, I didn't say go back to her. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, hope someone is able to take a couple of gems out of that conversation. Obviously, if you still have questions, hit us up on the DMs, add us on the pod, on Twitter or whatever, email us, and we'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction in terms of resources you can try to read, watch, whatever that can help you on your investment journey. But yeah, because I'm not paying any school fees out of pocket, bro. I refuse. Like, nah, fam. That's not going to be for me. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. So, Mr. Moyo, we had a death in the footballing world. So Jean Pierre Adams passed away, I think, at the age of 79. And he was actually in a coma for the last 37 years, if I'm not mistaken. And the story of how all of that even happened was incredible. It's actually, if you have time, look him up and read the actual article. But for those who are either too lazy or haven't heard or not planning to go and research him, Mr. Moyo, can you give us the SparkNotes version?
So Jean Pierre Adams, he was born in, I think, Senegal, somewhere in West Africa. And then he's, the typical sort of West African footballing journey. He's born in Senegal. He moves to France because I think immigrating from Senegal to France or any of those countries is easier when you're very talented. So he goes to France. He makes it as a player in Nice. Plays until I think his 30s, and then he went on some coaching course somewhere in France, right? And he suffered a knee injury. I think he hadn't retired at the time. So he suffered a knee injury. And then what happened is he was hospitalized. No, he wasn't hospitalized, actually. They suggested that he has an operation.
For the knee.
To which he then went to a hospital for the knee. So he's just going in, the usual footballer things. You think you're just going in for a small op for your knee. Something happens. The doctors fuck up his anesthetic. And long story short, his brain is starved of oxygen and he doesn't regain consciousness. He slips into a coma and he's in a coma, and then after that he's in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. Incurable. He doesn't wake up. He hasn't been actively conscious since 39 years ago, which was 1982 when he had his operation, and I think he only passed away like this week, beginning of this week. The doctors were only tried, I think, over 10 years later in the 90s for the whole thing. I think they were given like 1 year suspended sentence and a fine
of €700
and €700, something stupid like that. And the whole story, I didn't know about it until the news of his death came into the news yesterday, and I was like, whoa. And they literally just I think in the age of social media, the story's just gone unnoticed. But it was a conversation I had with my uncle also, which sparked a lot of interest. He's like, a lot of these African, especially West African footballers, just die mysteriously when they go to European countries in a weird way. Cheikh Tiote, there was, what's his name, Mark Vivian Foy, if you remember him. He was a Cameroon guy.
The Newcastle owner also died recently? Relatively recently.
He didn't die. There's the Fabrice Mwamba, who was at Bolton. He collapsed. Check Tiote. Yeah, that's the Newcastle guy.
Okay.
Tiote passed away very recently, also
Yeah.
overseas. And it's like, it's always just something silly. Like it's something small, and you go for and there's so many stories of guys who go for an operation and don't wake up, and then that's it. And you're like, is it negligence, intentional negligence? Is it just not caring because it's black people? Is it a bias?
I think for Jean Pierre Adams specifically, definitely negligence. Because I think one thing that I also read in the article was that he was with a trainee as well, and the trainee later admitted to they were not qualified enough. They didn't feel that they were ready for that type of experience or procedure at all. And I'm just like, imagine had that been one of the bigger footballers or a non-black footballer, then it would have been, we would know the story, all of us, and it's like it would be bigger. But the fact that obviously because it's Muntu Omnyama, it's like I'm sad that I had no clue that this was actually something that's happening in football, and everyone is kind of just in chair. Like, I don't think this has ever been spoken about,
in mainstream media.
Nah.
I hadn't even come across it, even after all the stories that you read about other footballers who suffer complications, heart problems, or whatever it is on a football pitch, like Tiote and Mark Vivian Foe. You're like, oh, you'd have thought that this may have come up at any point in time, but it never.
Yeah. And
literally yesterday or Monday being the first time I read about it was shocking. It was like,
yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy, some of the things, and again, now imagine the ones that we don't know, like that have been intentionally kept out of the limelight.
Yeah,
those are probably even more. I think if some of these guys who left Africa to try and pursue football, actually, if they were to tell you Ivar of some of their experiences,
it's insane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If someone suggests an operation when you probably don't need one. Someone suggests a medical procedure when you probably don't need one. There's actually a story of a CBC old boy. I won't mention his name. I think he was very talented in athletics, and I think he went overseas on scholarship vibe, I think. And I'm not sure what happened. He went for an op, didn't wake up.
Really?
Passed away. Yeah.
Oh.
And reading this was like, it just took me back to that moment, and I'm like, is there something that's happening? There was one big conspiracy. I'm not sure if you believe it. I watched a documentary once where people were like, well, because young, healthy Africans are, if you're a big mafia, right? You're a Tabo, big mafia, white guy in corporate. Someone tells you that, Tabo, you've got kidney or liver failure. You'll die in a year unless you get a kidney, right? Then, if you are a billionaire or millionaire, are you going to jump on that organ donor waiting list? Which, to be honest, I've heard people say that they wait on those lists for years when you're just waiting for someone to donate an organ for you. Apparently, what sometimes happens, and this is a conspiracy, it's not my words, right? This is stuff that I've read. So, what then happens is all the gang violence, the police shootings, and all these weird things where black people who are very healthy all of a sudden die from violent crimes or unexpectedly. Bodies are then taken, organs are harvested. By the time your parents come to view you, sebe tete, and it's been done. Like it's a proper trade. Like, wow, there's a black market for organ donation. It's insane.
It doesn't sound so far-fetched.
Really?
It doesn't sound so far-fetched.
I don't know. When I was watching it, I was like, okay. And I was thinking about it critically. But then now you read stuff like this and you're like, hectic.
Yeah.
Maybe that stuff was actually legit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, bro. Maybe. That's deep. I mean, but yeah, I think to anyone listening, definitely go and read the article on Jean Pierre Adams. It's actually one of those stories where you're like, man. And then obviously the fines and suspended jail sentence. Like I was like, nah, come on, man.
That was some BS.
Yeah, it really was. And again, there's bigger conversations to be had. But unfortunately, we are not the woke podcast that you would hope us to be. So no buzzwords here.
what I actually wanted to chat to you about regarding the whole story. So his wife obviously has been looking after him for the last 39 years.
Yeah.
Guys, find yourself a committed one
Fam.
and settle down. She's been looking after him for the last 39 years and tending to his every need. And there's the whole story of, well, why didn't she just
pull the plug,
agree to euthanasia and just pull the plug and just let him go? What I want to ask you, Mr. Maps, if you ever found yourself in such a situation, I'll ask this in two parts, right? You are the spouse of someone who has gone into a vegetative state. Do you agree to pull the plug, or do you care for them for life? Or you are the spouse who is in a vegetative state. Would you want your person to pull the plug, or would you want them to stick by you for life?
I think that one is pretty easy. I think, firstly, I'd say when you're in a relationship with someone and it's serious, right? You guys are heading towards getting married, I think it actually is a genuine conversation you guys should need to have. Should something happen to me and I become, a vegetable or whatever, or I'm in a coma and it's just bleak, what would you want me to do? Right. I think that's actually a conversation that you would need to have. I think we've had that conversation with the baby, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, we both said with Diabra, pull the plug.
Because you're like, guys are deep in this job. I know you're getting married and everything, but
no, but like,
I mean,
I feel like it wasn't even a deep conversation. I think we were just chilling on the couch, even just kind of like, people just talk hypotheticals and all this other stuff. And we might have even been watching a movie or a series, and then you pause, like, babe, so it could be I think it was like one of those things, and because we even had another conversation. There's this movie or show, I don't know what she was watching, but essentially, there was a married couple, and the wife, they were together dating or something like that, and the hun kept on living the same day, over and over again.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. The one with Adam Sandler.
I think so. Oh, yeah, with I think it was with Drew Barrymore. I can't remember, but yeah, it was one of those things. With like they kept falling in love on that day, and then the next day, because she knows this,
her memory would forget everything.
So in those,
every day he'd have to finesse her.
Exactly. So like in those type of situations, what would you do? So you have those kind of chilled, laid back conversations and stuff like that. But I think for me personally, I just speak for myself. I say pull the plug, bro. Like, I think give it a week to a month maximum, 1 month maximum. And then if there's no hope, don't stop, bro. Because what are we doing, bro? Like, I think 39 years, 37 years is a lot, for someone not to move on. Because I don't think it's fair on her to keep her, tied to me. And it's like, if it was one of those things which there's a 90% likelihood utabuzavuga in 2 years, 90%. Then okay, sharp. Okay, that's different. But if the doctors are telling you to have it's it's a 10% chance that I mean, even if there's a chance that I could have, I don't think I would want her to chill and like for 10%. I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like I know. So when's that? I
let it go.
Yeah, I think that's probably my POV on that.
Okay. I agree with you. Wait, you didn't answer the second part.
What's the second part? Oh, would I pull the plug?
Would you? Yeah.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Have the conversation. So if she says, pull the plug on me, then I'll do as she asks.
And if she says no, look after me for life, nigga.
Then actually, I actually didn't even think about that.
If she says no, I want you to.
If she says look after me for life, then keep hope. I hope your insurance is good, baby, because after that. No, bro. Like me, I'm not popular like that. Me, if I started a GoFundMe, I don't know if I'd get $1 million for it. You know what I mean? Like it's it's a lot.
It's the Michael Schumacher thing, right? Because he's also in the same situation. He's in a vegetative state. His wife is obviously looking after him. Obviously, he's the greatest F1 driver of all time. So there's that whole. There's a lot of implications, and there's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of eyes. Should she do anything?
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
My perspective is, I don't even want to live till 100. if I'm being honest. I've you know, have you seen like what people look like when they're like old and they can't do anything for themselves? I feel like that's a life without dignity. That's a life without purpose to an extent.
Nah, there's purpose. Don't be mean. There's purpose.
I'm not being mean. You're being mean. I wake up, I can't do anything.
But like
if I'm
your life will still have meaning. You'll have family,
wheelchair,
and whatever. But I agree with you. I'm not trying to touch 100. Like I think once I get to the point where I'm just a liability, then it's okay.
Yeah, like I don't mean like to grow old is fine. Like I don't mind growing old.
Yeah.
Like aging, it's life, right? But now where I can't even like I'm on a wheelchair, I can't bath myself, I can't wipe my own ass. It's like.
Yeah, but there's people who love you, who gladly, do that, or they'll send you to a home, where there's professionals who do that,
I guess so.
But yeah, I know. I guess so. I wouldn't. But I don't know if I would. Again, perspective, age is going to change a lot. But as of right now, yeah, I think me in the same point that you're talking about as well, where it's just like there's really nothing in Gwenzayo, I can't go and live the life that I want to live. It's like, I don't want to, sign up for that. But hey, who knows? Maybe technology will be different, bro. We can now transfer our consciousness into, robots and whatnot. I don't know. You never know what could happen in the near future. But what would you do?
If I get into a vegetative state, I would prefer the person to turn off life support and just let me go. I don't think I feel like it would be prolonged suffering, especially if I have my consciousness. I would just literally just be suffering for 30 whatever years that Jean Pierre was chilling for. And if I had a spouse who said, look, my G, don't turn off the machine, that's going to be difficult. Because you want to respect your person's wishes, but at the same time, the life that you then choose, it changes your life, and now you're just responsible for.
Because I feel like there's an element of selfishness. You know what I mean? Like it's like you. Everybody has the right to say no, don't turn off the machine. But at this point. You are no longer in control. I don't like situations where now, like, I've put people in a certain position, and because of me, now my spouse is coming to the hospital every day, and now she's, like we said before, starting a GoFundMe, Oxela Mali, and we want to keep Tabo on life support. All these things where if you just pull the plug, like that's not their burden to carry, and it's not like I'm there, to help, you know what I mean? Like it's not a team effort. I'm making these people do all of this for me, who has a 10% chance of waking up. You know what I mean? Like that's where I would feel uncomfortable. I think it's too much to ask of a spouse, a parent, or whatever. I think it's just way too much to ask for them to keep you on life support.
Backtracking it, so to answer your question, I would consider turning off life support, but at the same time, and this is an African problem when you're dealing with African families, and you are an immediate contact, like a spouse, and you make a decision to turn off life support, I can guarantee you now, her family will be at your door the following day saying, you killed our child, hey. I can guarantee you that without a shadow of a doubt, you will create problems with that person's family.
Yeah.
With her family. And not that they have any context what looking after your person would be like, but generally speaking, they're going to make assumptions that you didn't fight.
Yeah.
You just gave up our child.
So there's all that to consider as well.
So that's probably the difficulty that you might have navigating it from an African perspective. But Mina personally, guys, pull the thing.
Thanks for letting
pull
me
the blood clot thing.
All right, now guys, add us and let us know what your stance is in terms of, like, are you a pull the plug or nah? Must we begazell you until the very end? What are you saying? What are you saying about that? But on to the next thing, Mr. Moy. I actually went out to the movies, which is just the ghetto. To be honest, I think there's really no need for cinemas anymore. I like, honestly speaking, I have a great TV, I have a great sound system. Just give me the movie, give me the DVD, bro. Like, I'm so okay with and I'll have a good ass time. But anyway, this movie was not on streaming on any platform, so I had to go and watch it. I went to watch Shang-Chi. Have you seen it yet?
Nope.
Are you going to see it?
You're referring to.
It's a Marvel movie. I thought you were an MCU person.
I watch MCU movies, but I'm not deep like you and Daba. Like you and Daba, you guys are like comic nerds. Like,
okay, all right.
I'm not there at that level.
Disappointed but not surprised. But anyway, we move. So yeah, great movie. I had a good time. But one thing that stood out to me. So someone on Twitter tweeted Ugutikona. So they had just come from seeing Shang-Chi, and they said Shang-Chi was amazing. I'm paraphrasing. Shang-Chi was amazing. It was everything that we thought Black Panther would be. So I saw that tweet just before getting to the cinema, like on in the taxi to the mall. Yeah. And at first I was like, niggas just want to hate on Black Panther, because I loved Black Panther. But I was like, then I thought about it again. I was like, okay, let's keep an open mind. What is this person actually trying to say, right? And at least this is what I got from it. Like, I think from an African point of view, like me and you, I think Black Panther shortchanged us by a lot, and it was reinforced so much more as I watched Shang-Chi. So initially, I would have been like, this guy's being a bit extra. But during and after watching Shang-Chi, I walked away from that movie like, you know what? As Black people, Hollywood or Amaki or whoever it is, the Western world does not rate us. One, as Black people, two, as Africans. There's like, it's even, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Black people, Black Americans, and then lower down the totem pole is Africans, Yeah. And the reason why I say that, if you analyze Black Panther, right, which was, to me, I supported it just because I was hoping. I was like, it's not the perfect movie, but I hope this shows Hollywood that there's an appetite for African stories and, African set movies where, like, there's so many rich stories in so many different tribes and so many different places in Africa where if you invested the same amount you invested into another blockbuster, it would be amazing, right? So that's that was my point of view. I don't know, let's celebrate Black Panther because of the doors it's going to open. That was my point of view. But anyway, so now when I compare the two things side by side, for Black Panther we got Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. Chadwick. He tried, he did his best, but they got a Black American to act like an African and speak isiXhosa horribly, and they got a bunch of other Black Americans to do the same thing. And they got Lupita Nyong'o, who is, I think, Kenyan, if I'm not mistaken. And then she also, Kenyan. She gave it a good try and whatnot. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's so many. What was funny is that, you remember in Black Panther, the young King T'Chaka, who showed up in San Francisco, was it? Yeah, I think it was in Oakland at the beginning. Right, it's the South African guy. I forget his name, but it was him and his dad played the older version of T'Challa's father. So they're in real life, they're father and son. Those guys. John Kani is the older Bali, and then his son. I forget what his real name is. But you know what I'm talking about, is it?
Yeah, I know his son.
Exactly. Those two, by our standards, are brilliant actors. Brilliant, great actors. And I'm thinking, why didn't you let that guy, John Kani's son, why didn't you just let him be why didn't you let Atanda be T'Challa? We really didn't need Chadwick Boseman in that. You know what I mean? Like, we really didn't. Have the son actually someone who speaks isiXhosa, if you're going to choose isiXhosa to be the language, or have get a competent East African actor,
brilliant African
who's
actor
great,
to come in and do it,
who speaks Swahili, and then let the language of Wakanda be Swahili. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done so many things, but then if you look at and so I got annoyed because if you watch Shang-Chi, it was the main actor, Chinese origin, supporting actor also Chinese origin, Canadian Chinese. And all of these guys who had roots specifically to China, because a lot of it was tied and set in China, Lani, all this other stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, imagine if they had gotten like a Japanese own to play a Chinese own. So I don't think they would have stood for that shit, in terms of people in that region. They're like,
no, definitely.
There's
a certain attitude when it comes to Africa, which we'll just accept everything. And that allows them, in many instances, to steal out. For them to take ownership of our stories. I wouldn't say steal, because the stories are there, and whoever wants to make a movie can make a movie. But it allows them to appropriate our stories and then commercialize them as if they're their own. I'll give you, in addition to what you said, I'll make two other examples. Actually, three. So the first one is Shaka Zulu, where they put Henry Cele as the lead, right? When I'm not sure if you remember, when I did the thread, and I remember I was reading up on it, and they initially wanted Denzel Washington to come play Shaka Zulu.
What?
Yeah. So
wow.
When the script went to Hollywood, and the producer was like, "Hey, listen, we were trying to make a story about Shaka. This is the budget. This is how much money is being commissioned for it." They were like, "Okay, sharp, cool. Please, can we get either Denzel or like Wesley Snipes to play Shaka Zulu?" And they were like, "Nah, bruh." Like, I think the director was like, "Look, if you want to come and film in SA, and you want to make a story about a Zulu king, can we get local acts to do it?" And they did that, and it was brilliant, right? Even though it's made a shitload of money. I think from a box office perspective, they intentionally don't sell it because it's got an African lead. So there's
or maybe it's more of because it has an African lead, you can't sell that
to the States.
Whereas if it was Denzel, they can sell, because Denzel is box office. Denzel is put an ass in a seat, whereas Henry Cele, they'll be like, who's this again?
Right. So the next one then I'll go to is two movies. They both Mandela movies. The one is Long Walk to Freedom, which had Idris, I think, as Mandela. And he did well. Like, he tried the accent and everything.
Oh, I remember that one actually. Yeah.
But it was,
he was better than Tom and Low. What's this cool's name? Morgan Freeman in Invictus. Yeah.
The good thing with Morgan Freeman, he kind of looked the role. He looked the part. Like, if you had to
but Idris was playing a young Madiba though, right?
True. But I think when you're now looking for older Mandela in his 70s as kind of father of the nation, if you had to pick a guy aesthetically who looks the part, Morgan Freeman. He may not have been the part, but I think if you're just looking for someone who looks it, he's the guy. Even though his delivery wasn't great, then it kind of makes you think, okay, cool. If you're gonna come film Invictus here, why not get? Because they got Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman. I'm like, why not get other black South African to come act as Mandela, and then sell the movie in the States with that authenticity. But I think America, when it comes to African stories, they want to put a lot of black Americans first to play proxy because it sells. They don't think our talent sells itself.
But do you think is that we're not making enough noise about it? Because like I said, like with Shang-Chi, right? Had they had gone and gotten someone like a Filipino actor or a Korean or whoever, I'm telling you, China would have been like, Manji, this movie, we're not playing it in China, they are shy. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been different.
So my thoughts are that I think we don't have pioneers in the same way that the Asian market did. I think Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and those guys were very important for kind of doing the whole crossover from Chinese movies to American movies, and they were big superstars in that regard. So then what happens is they don't question the competence of a good Chinese actor to sell a movie, because there's guys who've done it before. You got Bruce Lee, you got Jackie Chan, you got Jet Li. There's a template, right? Whereas us, I can't think of one African actor, unless he's playing a brutal dictator in a supporting role, who's made that transition from making good African movies to starring in a proper big budget Hollywood movie. I can't think of one.
So, well, no, he's not African, that guy, I don't think. Ooh, that black guy who played did he play Idi Amin in Last King of Scotland?
That's Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. He's American straight up, right? Like, it's not African. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, we don't even need to get like, your A-list African actors based in Africa. That would be great. But if Hollywood is like, because this guy who plays Shang-Chi, he's a relatively unknown Chinese. I think he's Chinese American, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But he's got, so when he speaks English, it's a full-on American accent, right? But he can also speak Mandarin. So like, for me, I'm like, are you telling me Ugutikona? I don't know if Tardy Newton can still speak. What does she speak? She's in Deville, right? But she grew up in Asia. I can't remember. Yeah.
Did she grow up in Zim?
I feel like did she grow up in Zim or some shit?
No, I don't know. She's like proper American. She just has a South African name.
Nah. No, there's someone who grew up in... Anyway, whatever. My point is, like, let's scratch the Tardy Newton thing, right? Yeah. But you can get someone in the States. Like, for example, Lupita Nyong'o. If they had said the official language for Wakanda was Swahili, she fits in perfectly because she speaks the English that the Americans love and can get behind, but she speaks authentic Swahili as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that difficult. I just think they simply just don't rate us. They're like, you know what? If we get an American to try and speak Zulu or whatever, or Setswana,
it would be better than getting
it'll be good enough.
But I
think it's not for me. I'm like, nah. I'm starting to get pissed off to be like, nah. You guys need to respect us. And I don't know. I think I think maybe we're just not making enough noise about it to be like, nah. You can't tell us that this is an authentic story and A, B, C, D. If you're gonna make the mains, like, say, no, we need Black Americans to act like Africans. Yes, we're all black. And, we have the same features, but at the end of the day, they're so different. They're closer to white Americans than they are to us. Like, genuinely.
True. No, genuinely.
Genuinely.
100%,
like, it's starting to piss me off. And I was so annoyed. Because during the movie, I started looking up the different, the main actor, the supporting actor, to be like, where are these ones originally from? And then they had one of the other, like, maybe by rank, probably the fifth, sixth most important character. She was from Malaysia, right? And she was in the movie. But again, we're talking the person of a non-Chinese origin is number 5, 6 down the line, bruh.
Yeah.
But the first 4 owns straight up Ngabe China, or have Chinese origin, Chinese parents, like something, know, and can speak the language properly. Because imagine, what's this? Remember, I don't know if you know, but this Scarlett Johansson did this movie called Lucy.
Yes, I remember Lucy.
It wasn't Lucy. It was she did Ghost in the Shell. It's an anime. And Vele people lost their minds. And it's not even about she had to speak Japanese, but they were just like, what the hell? This is a Japanese anime. What the hell are you doing putting just for her being there?
Who was the other one? Was it Zoe Saldana who did Blackface?
Isn't she black?
No, then there's another one, sorry, that I'm getting wrong.
There's
another actress.
She's Gamora, I think, in Guardians. So I think if that's the one she's black.
There's another Han who did blackface. Yes, it was her.
In what movie?
It was her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's she doing blackface, but she's black?
She played Nina Simone, which I don't think she's black, but she had to darken her skin for the role.
Yo.
And then it's like, bro, just go get like a black person who has Nina
just
Simone.
Get a dark-skinned black woman.
Exactly. But I think the reluctance with America to reach out to Africa, because we haven't had I don't think we've had a crossover star. Even Danai Gurira, she's obviously Zimbo and she's been on The Walking Dead, but at the same time,
but she's more of a
supporting act. Even Lupita, brilliant as she is, if it's not a poverty sort of whatever poverty porn type of movie, and it's one of the big ones. Poverty. Yeah, remember that there's that sad movie she acted in, man. I'm like, it was a true story, but I'm like, you gotta now start putting them in like proper lead roles, like where you're considering putting Angelina Jolie, maybe put Scarlett, maybe put Lupita Nyong'o to act as Salt. Who knows?
I think what I would say is what I've learned about Hollywood, in terms of reading, watching different things, analyses of people who know the industry. Hollywood, this one lady I was watching a YouTube video, she was actually saying to make it in Hollywood, right, as like a white actor, for example, you need to have a typecast. So like some of these other new actors you see coming up, right, they have the archetypes who are already there. You have your Tom Cruise, you have your George Clooney, you have your,
template.
I don't know, whoever. There's a template, and Hollywood wants to keep these templates. So if you are coming up and you're an actor, you need to have, the either the Clooney look, or you need to have the Brad Pitt look. You know what I mean? Like, you have to look like one of these ones, because Hollywood thinks that Tina, Clooney was a hit, so we need to keep getting more Clooneys. Even though Clooney's going to get older and do other things, we need the lookalike.
Yeah.
Right? So the successful actors in Hollywood are the ones who you can pinpoint, Lo Vele is coming from this archetype. Mm-hmm. So maybe because of this type of mentality and the amount of money that's pumped into Hollywood, and I also learned, Uti, for a lot of these big movies, they go and take loans out of the bank. Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, I didn't even know that shit. So because it's such a big financial gamble, they're like, nah, we need to make sure that, okay, if we're going to invest 200 million into the next Avengers movie, we need to make sure there's this person, this one is prominently on the poster. It's not even about acting ability. Now it's just about, all these things that it's the money first. So I know a lot of people will say Hollywood is racist. Yes. But I also think a big motivation for it is money driven. Oguti, if, to be not racist made them more money, Hollywood would stop being racist in a heartbeat, So I think it's primarily the money
motivation.
That is, yeah, exactly.
And that's why
I don't know.
And I actually don't think, I was thinking about it actually that day, we don't have as many big action stars in Hollywood as we did, or as our parents did in the 80s and 90s. I think nowadays The Rock is on everything, bro. Like, if they need anything, just ask The Rock to come.
Yeah,
to come.
I mean, that's why he is the highest paid actor
in Hollywood,
because he's just in everything, literally everything. But hey, good for him. But yeah, no, guys, add us and let us know if you resonate with this conversation. You think I want to be Hollywood, and do you think it's a case of we're not making enough noise, or it's just whatever? Give us your take. Add us, let us know, email us, and let us know what you think when it comes to that representation of authentic African acting, culture, whatever it is, just taking a backseat to anything else, when you compare with other demographics, that would just never ever stand. Or maybe do we just not contribute enough money as a market to the Hollywood machine, compared to China is people depend on that box office money, in different regions, so they'll pander to it. But it's just like Transformers. Half of Transformers was done in China and it made $1 billion. That one movie was it Transformers 4, half of it, and then they throw on a popular Chinese actress for a side role, and voila, $1 billion movie. But anyway, guys, add us, let us know. We are gonna move on to the next thing, which is the Janos Adam is now deep. I feel like we've done a lot of deep shit. So we'll start.
We can push.
We'll
that.
do Hananis. Okay, cool. So we'll do. I mean, we can. Yeah, I know. Because the Janos Adam needs time. That one is is sensitive. So I think next week we'll start with the Janos Adam, and then we'll be like, sharp. But yeah, what was Hanani's tweet, Mr. Moore?
So I think it was a few weeks back. I don't have it in front of me at the moment. But
this is the rundown, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. I think he was saying something along the lines of for a wedding, with regards to the groomsmen's clothing and stuff. Could you correct me if I'm wrong, if you remember correctly? With regards to the groom's clothing, do they pay for it themselves or does the groom pay for everybody? Which is interesting because it's a ongoing discussion I'm having with Mr. Maps at the moment, currently as we stand, and negotiating intensely.
Fabrizio will let the people know.
Fabrizio will let the people know.
Here we go.
But on a serious
how
note,
far, Mr. Maps?
No, on a serious note, Mr. Maps, maybe you should tell the people what your thoughts are on this before I chip in with my 2 cents.
So I'm just checking the group here where I looked on the internet, and the internet said the best man is actually supposed to take care of a lot of shit. You know? What does the best man do? The best man is meant to pay for the attire. There we go.
Whose attire?
That's already done. I'm guessing for everyone, for the groomsmen. It doesn't expand. So the best man is meant to pay for the attire, the bachelor's party, travel and accommodations for the wedding, pre-wedding grooming, and the wedding gift. So that's you, Jaman.
Nah.
It's nicely summarized.
Less of that.
Quite simply.
Less of that.
And value money. So I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. Send us rich guys. Don't let him lie to you.
Where will I get the money?
Send us wealthy guys. Send us at blesser levels, and I'll just leave it at that. He's your typical Kanti. Man is carrying Range Rover, man.
I
just
don't have money. Guys, let me tell you now. I don't have money. Right now, it's get made. I'm stressing about yeses. I have to get a suit. Then he comes and tells me, not just for you, for others. James.
Yes. For the team, bro.
Nah.
For the team.
Nah, less of that.
But then when you get married, then I'm covering you. So it's an investment. Isn't Togo was talking about this a few weeks ago? This is your round.
And if I don't get married,
I'll take the next round. Tough.
That's some risky-ish for an investment which might not.
It's incentive.
Which might not round back to me.
No. Your mother will make sure that you get married. Don't worry.
Will, bro.
If she has to pick the wife for you, she will do so. She'll conduct interviews.
So here's the thing. Haxel's tweet, I'll read it verbatim so that he doesn't accuse us of misquoting him. What's the soch about buying your own suit dress now kapile emchadweni? Bathini lapho madoda? So my thinking is, if ukapile, the groom basically sends a memo out in terms of the suits that he wants, and you all go out separately and get them. That's my thought. What that does, because umuntu is already planning a wedding, you don't want to add more costs and expenses. What that does is you'll be like, right guys, how many Woolworths? This is the suit. How many tenga? You have 6 months to get it done. Then on the wedding, we all show up with the same suit, right fitting, yonkinto, ishap. Yes?
I mean, it makes sense.
But then I'm hearing the people getting married, including the best man or whatever, that are planning the wedding, need to go and buy the suits for everyone else. Guys, I've looked at the price of suits over this past week. I can confirm that my card will decline if I'm buying it for all your groomsmen.
The item void.
See? Sorry, but maybe there's a problem with the machine. Because I don't understand. Like, for example, a couple of suits, the basic stock ones from Woolies are like 2K, 2,000 rand for pants and jacket, right? Now, if you're buying them for everyone yourself, on top of planning a wedding, you're looking at about, if you have 5 people who have a capileo, that's about 10K. Hi, guys. Let's not hlukumeza other people's children. No,
really,
yourself.
Yeah, no. It's I think it's very straightforward. This one is not an argument. Like each man for themselves, God for us all, and then Kuluva for himself.
And if you can't afford to be
it's very simple.
now Kapile will substitute you. It's very easy.
I mean, it depends. Like if there's a genuine reason, i.e. our savings, or like, hey, listen, me, if I buy the suit, then I'm eating, water and strala for like 2 months.
Exactly.
Then obviously, we make a plan for you. But now, holy salary civili, sugubuona busy at brunch, going on trips and taking people's daughters out for dinner. Aha, don't talk to me, bro. I don't want to hear anything about, hey,
Can't afford the suit.
Ting suit.
Don't tell you suit top.
Nah, ting suit. You're mad.
How am I mad?
You're mad. I'm not buying
You
your
just
suit.
described
You're
my
supposed to
situation,
actually,
and then
you're supposed to buy my shoes, actually. So I'm gonna DM
Guys,
you.
where are all these things written down?
Fire Adams. It's etiquette.
As y'all didn't tell me, I thought best man duties I just show up, I say a speech, and I go home.
So you think you're just gonna come look sexy and then thanks guys, thanks.
Danko. Plan the bachelor party and be out.
Nah. But that's a chance, but it's not just to do. It's not. It's style. You just feature there. It's not a ceremonial thing. You're not the Queen of England, fam.
Okay, so what else is
you come in and you
what
craft.
else is on this best man's duties list? So it's the shoes, and what else?
So let me see. Best man duties. Yeah. It's very important. Best man duties, ultimate checklists. Best man. I don't like things that I want you to just list things nicely. So help organize the groom and the groomsmen get their entire wedding attire. So not necessarily to pay. Organize the bachelor's party. Ensure the groom and the groomsmen get to the ceremony on time. So Pele, you're head of operations essentially. Hold on to the rings. Serve as witness during the signing of the marriage certificate.
The rings, how much do they cost? Because, dog, personally, I'm not trying to be liable for any damages or lost rings.
I mean, bands aren't expensive.
Okay, cool.
Bands aren't expensive, so don't worry. It's not going to be wild.
Okay,
if it was engagement, then hey, Leana, funny security check in my pocket in case you do some funnies. But so hold on to the rings, serve as a witness, offer the first toast to the newlyweds, collect gifts and cards from the guests. So you are the mashonista. Really, I want you to walk around. Yay, Malam.
Let him malif sack.
Take your phone. Really? So I think I have the perfect eye for that. You're buff and you've got a scary face. So go and clean the sheets. Apparently, you're supposed to decorate the getaway car.
Getaway
Never
car.
heard of that before. Yeah,
guys, someone with a Honda Fit.
Our Range Rover when it pulls up, is it? I'm sure the wedding dress by itself, without even a human being in it, it's like nah.
Don't worry, Tabo. I got the polo. I'll get the
serious.
polo ready.
Okay, Senna, this is no.
Don't discriminate against my car, please.
You said Isolo. You said to Sandra, which you don't have a polo, so
because you're trying to give me a stereotypical polo driver.
I'm assuming you've bought I'm assuming you've bought the AMG. That is the only thing that I could have assumed from that statement.
AMG, bro.
Anyway, Sana, you're leaning a bit too hard on this I'm broke thing. People now know. They're like, you've got too much bass in your voice to be broke. Like, there's no way. It just will not compute. I found another website. Chocolate, the best man, is supposed to provide moral support during ring selection.
Wait, that's for the engagement ring or the bands?
No, engagement ring. I think bands.
Wait, did you ask me for? Yes, you did actually.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not sure if my 2 cents helped in any way, but
no. I honestly, Ogunye, I always have to circle back to stop because some of the things that you do, I'm like,
Wait, so you circle back to my system to chairman?
No, Gucci. I just want to make sure. Oh, okay. Are you? Because me, if it doesn't look right to me, then I'll be like, you know. So, Store is like, she's an honorary best man. She's like, junior best man. I don't know if that's a position.
We escalate.
Yeah, I know. We escalate to management, and she'll definitely be given a shout out. Unsung hero. Definitely. But let me see here. Shop for formal wear, service, confident, plan the bachelor's party, coordinate travel, help the guests. Yeah, I know it's general, but it's gonna be vibes, bro. It's gonna be vibes. But so you're supposed to create a best man emergency kit. So yeah. So try, for example, deodorant, bandages, tissues, pain relievers, stain remover, sewing kit. Sada, can you sew? Can you tunga anything?
I can tunga a button on.
I guess, okay, we'll take that.
If your button falls out.
An extra pair of socks. Yeah. So so okay. So make the disaster kit, please. So you're really head of operations. This is what all this is telling me. You're really just head of operations.
Responsibility.
It is. But anyway, let's move on because we're running out of time. Gym etiquette. Senna wants to rant again. I think this is the third time that he wants to rant about this. But
no, it's a kind reminder, guys. It's a kind reminder. No, it's just I think sometimes we just need as people to remind ourselves certain things, which I think we forget with time. And obviously with lockdowns, people may have forgotten what it's like to be in a gym again. So I think it's important that when we get back to normal-ish, we stick by certain rules. I've been back to the gym for a couple of months. But now it's obviously, once 1st of September hit, I could tell what the numbers are going up. The way you tell Nyekwapa, first of all, guys.
It's peak.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So,
tell us.
First of all, gym clothing, guys, right?
Yeah.
You can wear maybe sweatpants or shorts twice, but no more than twice. But a shirt must only be worn once. You wear a t-shirt one, you work out in it, throw it into the washing basket, pick another one. So make sure at least every single day you're going to the gym, you're wearing a different top or a different vest, because you sweat in it. So when you come back the next day, that sweat dries up, and then once you start working out again, it does not smell pleasant. And you're like, yo. So just a reminder.
When you catch that
whiff, right, it's deadly. Yo. And now kareso kuchisa, so obviously it's worse, right? It's not Ayoba. So there's guys who like training also in hoodies and sweatshirts because they want to sweat more and increase the intensity and all these things. I personally don't do it.
Yeah.
But also that top, it also gets drenched in sweat, so change it. Another one. If not, then don't wear it, because once it's full of sweat, it doesn't smell nice.
Hold on. I have a quick question. I've never understood this because you do this as well. Why do you gym niggas pull up to the gym with a hat on?
With the hat on?
For what? Yes. Because
sometimes I'll be coming from outside where I'm wearing a cap.
So just put it in your locker.
No, but I just want to keep it on.
I'd really just be looking at niggas
So this brings me to the next thing as well, right? Now, you must respect the gym, right? The same way now see a church and you try to look decent. Now we're gym just presentable, I'm not saying you must swag up,
because Bay could be in the gym as well,
right? So the gyms that we go to, they also have hands who come in. Maybe they also, coming in to work out for the first time, and they come in, they start training. They're like, oh, this gym's ghetto. Look at all these guys with torn clothes, So, and I know there's people who have that approach to working out, where it's like, to work out, I'll just throw on my oldest shirt. Or the rugby guys who played rugby in high school, they like this Hornets t-shirt business. I played rugby in high school, so I'm gonna throw on my... No, like, be decent, be presentable. You know, you're just chilling wherever. You know, just presentable vibes. So that's where at times the cap might come on, right? Maybe your hair's a mess. Yeah. You just put on the cap just to, you know, cover Rishangan.
Okay.
Put your weights back after training. Like, there's nothing worse than now you're looking for a 25. Ganti Tabos left the bar on the opposite end of the gym, not where it stays. Use the weight. Easy things. Yeah. The rest of the things will.
I don't want to spend 10 minutes looking like, where are the 10s at?
That
where
time
are the 50s?
The gains are shocking and you're busy looking for weights.
The gains are shocking.
When a guy is wearing earphones, do not talk to him. Rather wait until don't talk to a guy while he's working out. Like, wait till he finishes a set. Then you can say, how many sets do you have left? And he'll tell you,
use sign
10
language.
10 sets left. And then you leave him alone. Or you can ask to alternate.
This guy said 10 sets.
Yes, bro. Like, you've got those guys.
You know, alternators are actually quite
annoying. They are annoying. You can alternate. I can alternate it, but now it's COVID times. I've sanitized the whole thing. So where now you want to alternate. That's a new rule implemented.
Bring towels to the gym. I don't need your sweaty shit on like the bench now. And it's just like, some of y'all sweat like donkeys, bro.
Bring a towel to the thing. When you're about to bench press, you put it down and you do your your things. If you're going to be making noises while lifting the weights, please make appropriate noises. Some of the things that I hear out here, guys.
Literally what I was about to say.
I go correct.
Fucking are you lifting? Like, it's which one is it? Some of you sound like, like you've just had your fingers chopped off by the mob. Hey, chief, like, what are you doing?
It's okay to like let out maybe a little grunt or breathe out, or like a little
Some of y'all sound like Chewbacca, to be honest, bro. Like, literally sound like Chewbacca in the gym, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is Han Solo around? Like,
But also, besides that, to the regular gym goers, the gym apparently is a very intimidating place. So please be welcoming to, especially women when they want to use free weights. I've had a lot of female friends who say, I'm intimidated by the weight section because there's just so many guys and they'll be checking you out and all these things and they'll be making passes. No, a gym should be a safe space. So, gents, turn down the toxicity to allow the gym to be a free space for everybody. That's it.
Yeah, translation. Please respect everybody. That's what Mr. Mo is trying to say. But no, please. I mean, the gym is very interesting. Like, some of y'all's workouts, and then there's the couple that just does the most, and I'm just like, oh my god,
bro. Like, get a room.
The guy who just... And then trainers were out here touching people's wives inappropriately. Like, hey, that shit just blows my mind, bro. I'm
like, he's just a trainer. Bruh. Yay. Just a trainer. I mean, I've seen that.
Yeah, no.
Live jive.
Yeah, no. Just a trainer is in there with bestie, labo cousin, and just a trainer.
Not need to come and explain this cousin thing. Because personally, I'm confused by it. What does it mean? What does she mean by...
No, she has a story. She definitely
We'll
has
invite her on to come tell her side of things.
I think so. I think we need to have... Nat has a lot to
right?
get off her chest. I just think she doesn't have the right platform. Because, I want to see her as umuntu, who's got a proper head on her shoulders. She can come to 6 foot weights and feel like, right, this is
can you tell us?
Yeah, no. I think she needs that outlet. She needs that outlet to let the people know. I think there's some people like, there's a lot. I can just tell what singamnigi runway.
She'll off ramp nicely.
I think she'll grab the baton and she'll off ramp. Because
the tweets are always suggested.
It'll be great,
guys. Besti lava. I'm like, how? The funniest one she ever put out was, if you are in a relationship with a guy who has a female bestie, you're just part of their scenic route to them being together.
No, honestly. And I believe her. I'm like, no. Like, I want to be in denial. That's my bestie.
People
can
be besties.
Yeah. There's a chick who tweeted out. First, she was like, "Hey, my boyfriend." She was going to her girlfriend's birthday party, and apparently the boyfriend was insisting to come. And then also, instead of getting a 2,000 rand, he was like, "Let's give her 7,000 rand." And she was like, "Oh my god, he's just so sweet." And then she like quoted the tweet some weeks later, and she's like, "You guys were right. They're dating now." I was like, "Hey, my kid." Yeah. It's rough out here, bud. You know, you're not trying to be out here, man. Nah. It's tough. But Mr. Moyo, I think we can end it here. It's been another good one. I think I feel okay. We've let it all out for today.
We've done the things.
So obviously to you, the listener, like the thing, retweet the thing, subscribe to the thing, or we're gonna assume that you are a hater.
Laters.